Hi, good morning. Somehow Twitch let me roll. It's running. It's apparently ads are still going, even though they finished. We have double ads, but we'll get started here in a second. Let me sort out where things should be. Alright, I think I need to scooch a little this way. Alright. Yeah. It's good. Try to move the mic without moving the whole desk. That. Alright, so again, good morning. Gonna get started here and resume work on our platformer, our little practice game. So I was started a little later, just because I was in the midst of reading some documentation and forgot to actually hit the go live button for a minute. But so we've done some new things here with our platformer that we didn't do with other things, and I think there's still more that we can figure out, and we'll have to change around. So here's where we're at, right? So we have a single level, and we'll have to figure out like how we're managing. So we have the thing that we built quite a while ago now at this point, in terms of just a main screen and various things. But we have our we have a little guy who can jump around. It's all right. I was looking at this thinking that like our direction of our character should really persist. If we if we start walking this way, when we stop, we should still be looking that way and not going back. There we go. So we have some more complicated. Right. So it won't hit us. That's interesting behavior. So inverting how things normally work in this sort of game. Interesting. Why? Okay, so then it did. Why only? Okay, that suggests that there's something wrong in that. So it only hurts us going that way. Is that what's going on? Yeah. Okay. So it really should hurt us going the other way as well. Let's fix that. That seems like a good idea. Something else I was thinking about. So we have this enemy. Here's our enemy scene. And we have a script that goes with it. Our enemy script. I think I've made a couple of comments also. Dial down the music a little bit. I think I made a couple comments about like this way of organizing things doesn't really make me happy. I think what I'm gonna do, I've seen a lot of tutorials where and videos about Godot where people are showing their projects more broadly, where this kind of structure entities, right? And then so like broadly speaking, our organization right now is essentially by type of thing. Like here's all the scenes, here's all the scripts, and that is a valid way of organizing things, but it doesn't make me happy because why? Because let's see. So right now, yeah, it's enemy, but it's really just the slime. So we're gonna put this in here. At some point, we might have like a generic enemy thing that we can derive from. I don't know, but I think for right now, I wanna do this like this, and then we can do the same thing with player. assuming a player is an entity. And so we're organizing by kind of what the things are for rather than what they are. We have this dead zone script. Do we have a... How do things work? Oh, right. So we have this dead zone here. Interesting. Like we might want to make this its own scene to be able to reuse. Where did I see that? I think I saw one style of this where instead of having a collision shape 2D, no, not a collision shape. How are we? I guess it must be. Well, let's look at the script to remind myself how this thing works. Here's our slime script. To continue the thought, there was an example where the idea of a kill box, a dead zone, was something that you reused, and your enemies could have that, and you would get the same logic. So how are we? So we check player collision, and then we call on the thing we collided with if it can take damage and is the player. Which maybe this is redundant. Maybe yeah, anyway, it's fine. We call take damage on the player effectively. So so how does the script work for the dead zone? It's an area 2D. It has a hard-coded connection to the player, and it says, hey, actually, do we need this? Oh, right, because this one follows the player's position. I guess, yeah. That makes the behavior of this slightly different than other things we would do. Alternatively, we get rid of this, and we do say on each level, we just draw out the dead zone at the bottom of the world to be the whole width of the level, or have multiple, and then we get rid of this behavior. This was so that we could just make a little box, and it would follow the player. Yeah, and we wanted to change this anyway, right? Because we don't want to just delete the player. We want them to take damage in a certain way. Let's see. So if we go over to the player, so we have these signals. Sure. Power up, die. Where is take damage? Oh, it's good. If I just use the... Oh wait, do I not have... Oh, it's over here. Let's see. I moved it over there and then I forgot. Okay. Look at all the stuff. Might be too much stuff. Take damage. There it is. So what I'm thinking about is, do I want to make this so that take damage is... So we have die. maybe, yes, maybe I want to call die on player. Okay, so I think I understand what I want to do. Oh, I see. Right. So so this is if the character is the player, we call game manager setup game, which is also not what we want to do. We want to call character dot die. Remove it. There you go. So at least for now, we'll keep this. We'll keep this simple. This is closer to the behavior I want, but I'm thinking about if I make this dead zone thing something that everything uses, then I will leave it like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take dead zone and we're going to save branches scene. For now, I'll put it in the scenes. We will save that. And then in the game world, we are going to resize. We're going to scale this so that if the player enters this, that's it. All right, and then we have a scene. Which is this thing. I think one thing I will do for our area here is I want to reset the transform. All right, it's inside the collision shape. There we go. So if I just set this to 100 by 100, that's gonna mess with our game. Since the scale is relative to the size of the underlying thing. That's fine. Put that right there. Cool. All right. Seems good to me. And then what we're gonna do is in the dead zone script, we're gonna get rid of this. We're going to add. We don't need a handle for the player. We don't need that anymore. Instead, what we're going to do is we are going to we want a how fatal is this dead zone? Is it insta death or is it just like one tick of damage, right? So damage. Something like that. Except that it doesn't really feel satisfactory to me. Let's do an enum. Let's do damage type. There we go. And so this is going to be hit and void. Right? And so then there we go. And then what we do, maybe we don't care about whether the character is in a group at this point. What we're gonna do is based on the damage type and whether the method exists. So I I guess that gives us 4 possibilities, right? It's fine. There's no... so we can do this, right? But we also want to... First of all, that's okay. So that matches what we're... like the methods that are on player. But those don't exist on the enemy. On the other hand, maybe the dead zone is only for... should only apply for the... if the character is not in the player group. But that doesn't quite work because what we do want to say... Okay, yeah. So let's do this. So if it's a hit to a dead zone, so if it's a dead zone that's attached to an enemy or something like that, the enemies don't hurt each other. So this should only apply if the characters in the player group. Then, yes. Except we just die here. Yep, there we go. Okay, that's what I want. So like I said, I was thinking of 4 possibilities, but the other possibility is a hit damage type to an enemy, but the enemies won't interact with this in this way. I have decided. So then, great. We're back where we started, sort of. Like, so if I play this, it should work the exact same way. So we've not fixed the bug. We've not changed anything with how the enemy works. We have just simply, bloop, we insta-die if we fall into the void. Which we can do something better than just like that. We can slide though. We don't have a slide animation, but we can slide. We can ride on the enemy too, a little bit. Probably don't want that. Anyway, so now on the enemy, let's change things. So right now we have a collision shape 2D. That's, I think, just to because the enemy is a character body 2D, so it has like gravity and stuff. Whoops. Let's see. So check player collision is the thing we have right now, right? So we want to just get rid of this. Yes. Which means get rid of that. And so basically what that was doing is it was saying, hey, when you do your normal collision checks, that prevents the enemy from just falling through the ground. It will also say, hey, did you happen to collide with other things? And then it checks to see each thing it collided with to see if one of those was the player. But we don't need that because we're not going to do that kind of collision check. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take dead zone and we're going to drop it in to into here. And we are going to resize it. I think another thing we could do here is we could make it so that dead zone, so instead of like statically creating this shape, we could probably have an export on dead zone that then we use to populate collision shape, something like that. Anyway, so now it should basically be the same, but the enemy will not exist. Whoops. What did I do? Um, anything in the debugger? Yeah, signals that we're not using. Okay. What did I do? True, the area detects bodies or areas entering and exiting it. Monitorable. If true, other monitoring areas can detect this area. Sure. Okay, that's the collision shape for character body 2D. What if I move that ray out there? Is that what happened? New game. Nope. Where did the enemy go? Okay, so let's add. Oh, right. So another thing that I need to do here on this dead zone is I need to change the damage type to hit. Although I'm gonna save it as void still. I'm gonna keep it as void, and then so what's happening is we're colliding with ourselves. Yeah, is that what's going on? Like, I know we can use layers and masks, and we can pursue doing that. Is there a way just to say we shouldn't collide with, like, enemy and dead zone are colliding? Maybe I should use collision layers. All right, so how does this work? The physics layer, this collision object 2D scans. Object A can detect a contact with object B only if object B is any of the layers the object A scans. So do we put enemies? So like this is on a layer. So if we go to the game, we find our player. So our player, we will put on one layer and mask the other. And then the dead zone will be inverted. Like 1, 2, and then 2, 1. Right, so the dead zone is on layer 2, and the player looks for collisions on layer 2. And vice versa in this case, because we inverted them. So like the dead zone is on layer 2 and looks for collisions, although I mean the player doesn't need to look for collisions on layer 2. Is that right? We're on layer 2. We want to receive collisions when things collide with us that are in layer 1. How does that affect things? We don't fall through the world, but the enemy's still not here. So the enemy is still colliding with themselves. Presumably because the dead zone is looking for things on layer 1, and the enemy is on layer 1. So let's put the enemy on layer 2. Okay. So far, so good. Oh, okay, yeah, instant death if we fall into the thing. Cool. Alright, so now we go to the enemy dead zone and we change it to hit as the damage type. Then we just, like, lose our power-up state. There we go. We become temporarily invulnerable. Okay, so is this just the dead zone on the enemy is... Oh yeah, it's, okay, I see. I understand. The dead zone needs to be bigger than the collidable area. Or needs to, like, outsize it. Because what's happening now is the player is... Do we need collision between... We probably just don't want to allow the player to physically interact with the enemy, right? We just want to interact with the dead zone. Question. So the terrain tile map layer has collision enabled. I think, do I set, was that set on the tiles? What layer of collision there are? That's in tile set, isn't it? All right, so if you look at one of these, physics, okay, maybe not. It's good because I don't want to have to change things. Okay. Or is it in here in the tile set? Aha, there it is. Okay. I mean, surely we just set this on its own layer, and it doesn't need a mask, right? And then hilarity ensues. All right, and then we change the player to also mask layer 3, and that prevents the player from falling through. But the enemy falls through, great. And so then on the enemy, we also mask layer 3. All right. The enemy seems confused. about what it can do. I think it must be the case. Let's look at. Yeah. Collision shape 2D. No, enemy. Layer mask. So we only care about. We're on this character body 2D is on layer 2, and it's only interested in collisions with layer 3. So that's the terrain. So the raycasts also have a collision mask. So the ground check needs to be looking on layer 3 because that's where the ground is. And the wall check too. This is all like terrain navigation, right? So basically what I wanted to have it do is that I want the enemy to look at, is there ground where it's about to walk? And is there not a wall where it's about to go? And there's a script that changes the wall check to point it the other direction. Which in retrospect, seeing something else that someone did, you just have 2 raycasts going either direction and check both. Might have been simpler. Okay, the enemy's still kind of stuck, walking back and forth. We do take damage. We do die, and that works. Okay, so we're almost. Okay, and we do take damage if we walk into the side of it. Yeah, so if we take a little damage and walk over here. Yep, cool. So if we could just get it to walk back and forth, then things would be good, and we will have fixed the problem that we set out to fix. So let's take a look at the enemy script and figure out what's going on. Why are we setting the collision mask? Why are we setting ground check? If ground check. It's not optional. Okay, so that's wrong. And these are already enabled, so this is just wrong. What else is ground check? Okay, so that's always true though. What did I just change? And was that going to fix the issue at hand? Oh yeah, this is the problem because we're setting the collision mask differently. So we changed the setting on the node, but we were in the script overriding the setting with the value that was wrong and didn't need to be set anyway. So now maybe the enemy will behave correctly. Yeah, there we go. Oh no, it hurt me. I guess the next thing to do we want to be able to squash the slime by jumping on it? How will that work? The jump doesn't, the jump feels amazing with the smaller character. Maybe the jump distance should be different, depending on the power-up state. I did not think I was going to make that jump. Anyway. Okay. Well, let's commit what we have and then figure out what next. All right, which of this is actually true? Yes. Moved. guess technically we did update things inside of that as well. Introduce dead zone, scene, moved and refactored. Technically true. Yes. Okay. If nothing else, the AI-generated commit messages sometimes provide a good structure. Excuse me. All right. So, let's go over here. Do we want to tackle any of these things right now? Do we want to add an NPC? And then look into like dialogue stuff. That might be a good avenue to explore. And then instead of adding a jump on enemy mechanic, maybe we can buy maybe we can buy a sword from an NPC. And then figure out how to make that happen. Yeah, why not? So how will that work? I think to start with, we could have an NPC that just has an idle animation. So it'd just be a sprite, and then yeah, I think so. Also, let's rename this. This is going to be something funny like the floor is lava. No, no, it doesn't. It's fine. Can we organize our? Let's add a node. Call it enemies. Then put that inside. There we go. Cool. And then we're going to add another node. NPCs. And we're going to add do we just want to add an animated sprite? I mean, it doesn't... at least for now, we're not going to have the NPCs be attackable by the player or enemies. They're not going to move around, so they're not really going to have physics. Maybe we just do an animated sprite. Animated sprite 2D. I'll test NPC. Yeah. And then there it is. Well, we're gonna put it down here. Okay, so I have some assets. I don't think I imported. No, I was choosy. Yeah, okay, so let me go find that folder. Oh yeah, I've been reminded of something by opening up Windows Explorer, which is one of my hard drives is gone because I yesterday finally did the thing I've been talking about doing for a while now, which is making some inroads towards switching this PC over to Linux, which has been fun. Maybe I'll use this guy. What does the player look like? Yeah, we'll use this guy. Grab this. This is supposed to be, I think, the idea being one of the other like player models, player sprite sheets. But we'll use this to do a thing. There we go. Idle, call it, and we'll autoplay, and we will select frames from a sprite sheet. Grab that E3 sprite sheet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If only this worked. Is this gonna be our, you know, I can just what does auto slice do? It's wrong. Let's see. How do we feel about that? I can scroll. Not quite right. If I add a little separation. Okay, there we go. We have okay, we can move frame right. We can insert empty. Oh, there's copy. Paste. I don't suppose there's a way to just like flip the image. Let's not repeat that, and we'll get rid of this. Yeah, that's fine. Stick this guy on the floor. All right. I'm not expecting any surprises here. I guess one thing is that we won't even see the animation, will we? All right. Well, let's do something about that. So instead of auto playing the animation, we want. Okay, well let's just do this. So we're gonna do this, and we're gonna make this last. I mean, if it's 1 FPS, then that's 100 seconds, right? So maybe not. Maybe like 20. And again, all of this is not to like, I'm gonna make a fun, cool game to publish. This is just trying things out, figuring out what works. So is that gonna? Has it been 20 seconds yet? All right. Uh, 20 seconds is a long time. No, that's the wrong thing. Sprite frames. Maybe 10. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so what do we want to do from here? We want to have some way of interacting with the guy, and we want to have like a dialogue thing where words appear and we can choose options. Think about how that's going to work. I think there's a couple of things to that. One is that I was looking at an add-on for dialogue. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't mention it here. Is it in my workflowy of resources? That'd be nice. Nope. Let's see. The asset lib. Dialogue. There are many options. The one I was looking at had a version 2. Which is interesting. Now there's a 3. Or is this a different thing? Sure. That doesn't look familiar. Yeah, voices dialogues generator. Interesting. Sort by name. I mean, we can definitely check out this because this looks interesting, but there was one that I had been looking at that apparently I don't have the tab for anymore, and I didn't save a link. So let's do some Googling. Godot dialogue. Maybe it's because I spelled it differently. I've been here. Yeah, so here's this. But this is definitely not the thing that I was looking at. Maybe I was looking at this Reddit post. I mean, clearly I was. Dialogic. That is the one I was looking at. Which has a... Yes, a Dialogic 2. Alright, so they have a getting started already. Aw, it's a bot. Hello, bot. Goodbye, bot. All right. So this is the one I was looking at before. Blow that text size up a little bit. So I guess the question is which to check out, which to use. So there's this dialogue manager, which we can look at basic dialogue and kind of compare. So there is this one adds a tab in the editor, and you create a new dialogue file, and then I guess in the text you indicate the name of the character. It supports BB code. Excuse me. And then you can provide options. Okay. And then responses for branching. So what I want to do, like in the very short term, is I'm gonna add probably a raycast onto the player. So when the player is close enough to the NPC, probably we need to do a couple of things where we need to like highlight the NPC and show a bit of text that says, hey, press button to interact. And then when the player does that, then it triggers that dialogue, right? And then initially it'll be just like, hey, I'm test NPC. Do you want the sword I found? And then the player can say yes or no. And then I guess we'll add it in some kind of inventory slot on the player. That'll be a thing to do. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that, but we'll figure it out once we get there. Okay, so anyway, so Godot Dialogue Manager. We can... how many projects have you started not finished? Just a couple? A lot. Okay, so branching, and then the character can say things. Conditional responses are a thing. How do we make it so that something gets triggered when the player selects an option? There are variables. There are tags, titles, and jumps. Usually in your game, you would start some dialogue by providing a title. Default title is start. Okay. Cool. And then there's an end. If you want the end to flow from within the dialogue, you can jump to end. Okay. Can we... Conditions and mutations. Use conditional blocks. Okay, sure. So if something, then yeah. Oh, I see. So this option only appears if this is true. Cool. So this would be good to change what the dialogue says once the player has the sword, right? Mutations, you can affect state with either a set or a do line. So maybe we could send a signal. Or we can, we could probably just send a signal that, or we call game manager, something like that. Signals can be emitted. Okay. Some global.some signal.emit. So you can just basically, it looks like you just can call code. And you can pass arguments. Pass array of nodes or objects as extra game states parameter when requesting line dialogue. Okay, so this seems suitable. Lots of stuff in it. Okay, so that seems fine. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a break here for a couple minutes, stretch my legs, and then when we come back, we're gonna check out the thing that I saw before, Dialogic 2, and see how it kind of compares in terms of what we want to do. And then we'll use one of the two of them to add some dialogue to the game. So